So the reported UK variant case in the Philippines is a 29-year-old male residing in Quezon City with his girlfriend, mother, and two siblings. The case and his girlfriend are real estate agents who have not reported physically at their office, and they only go out only for essentials. The case have not reported any comorbidities, and they have reported that they had no travel outside of Quezon City this December or no known exposure to a confirmed case or a setting with known cases. Next slide, please. So this slide would show you the timeline of this health event. On December 25, the couple was swabbed in preparation for their trip to Dubai. On December 27, both yielded negative results from their RT-PCR test. While in Dubai, they visited malls, groceries, and tourist sites, claiming to be adhering to minimum public health standards. So let me just clarify. On December 25, the couple had their RT-PCR test done here in the country, and it yielded negative results. So they went to Dubai, and upon entry in Dubai, they were swabbed again, and the results were also negative. So on January 7, the couple arrived in the Philippines, both showing no symptoms. As UAE is not part of the travel restrictions for the UK variant, both underwent the usual protocol for international travelers. They were swabbed upon arrival, and they stayed in a hotel while waiting for their results. On January 8, the test results were out. The male tested positive, while the female was negative. He was immediately transferred to an isolation facility while she remained under quarantine. Albeit the fact that UAE was not a country of interest as it relates to the UK variant, after 5 days on January 13, the Philippine Genome Center has completed the genomic sequencing following their gradual expansion of their surveillance efforts. The sample was shown to be positive for the UK variant. At this point, we'd like to commend the efforts, of course, of our Philippine Genome Center and, of course, the one-stop shop of the government, of our government agency, because they were able to detect this variant in spite na hindi po kasama sa protocol ang Dubai or ang UAE dito po sa dapat na ibibigay para sa Philippine Genome Center to process. So all incoming passengers were included as part of the swabbing and as part of the sequencing so that we can be able to detect this variant. Next slide, please. Contact tracing has already been initiated. Contacts prior to departure in Manila were identified, which are all the 5 household members. They were isolated already and their specimens are collected. Contact tracing of Emirates EK332 has already been started. Of the 159 passengers, excluding the case, 92 or 58% had already been contacted, and 52 or 64% of these 92 have already responded. 23 were seated in the front rows, also behind or at the side of the case and his girlfriend. 15 or 65% were already contacted, and 12 or 80% have already responded. Those who did not respond had unattended phones, numbers cannot be reached, wrong numbers, or they have rejected the calls of our contact tracers. So our RESU and CESU are already engaged to physically locate the cases and determine their health, laboratory, and quarantine status of these contacts. We now are encouraging passengers to actively reach out to public health authorities for contact tracing so that we can provide appropriate management. Next slide, please. Aside from the case investigation and contact tracing of Quezon City close contacts, passengers in flight, and those who attended to the case upon arrival in the Philippines by the Department of Health, Metro Manila RESU, and CESU of Quezon City, the Department of Health has already counseled and clarified queries and concerns of cases and interviewed close contacts. All identified close contacts were already quarantined in the facilities and their specimens collected. All contacts that will be identified shall undergo facility-based quarantine and testing as well. In coordination with the Quezon City government, active case finding in the barangay where the case resides have started, and they have heightened their surveillance to monitor sudden or continuous increase in the number of cases in their areas.